The event of women dating married men is complex, multifaceted, and deeply rooted in various psychological, social, and emotional factors. While there is no singular type of woman who dates married men, certain common patterns, mindset, and circumstances can be identified. This relationship often comes with societal judgment, moral dilemmas, and emotional consequences for all parties involved. Understanding why some women may choose to engage in such relationships requires an exploration of human behavior, individual psychology, and external influences. In this video, we have 8 topics. I'll be mentioning one after the other, but we'll only delve into 4 topics, and the remaining parts will come as part 2 in another video. So it is better you grab your popcorn and a drink to gulp it down, because it's about to get serious now. First one is psychological motivation behind dating married men. The second one is the common characteristics of women who engage in these relationships. The third one is the role of emotional vulnerability and low self-esteem. The fourth one is social and cultural influences on relationships with married men. The fifth one is the other woman stereotype and the reality behind it. While the sixth one is the consequences for women who involve in these relationships. The seventh one is the moral and ethical dimension of dating married men, while the last one is a subtle understanding of women who date married men. So before we get started, if you're new, welcome to Female Affairs with Olu, where everything related to female affairs and matters of the heart are shared. Do well to subscribe. Turn on the post notification bell to be notified. Men are not left out at all. There are always something for everybody. You are very much welcome. So now let's get into the video. By examining the various reasons and the psychological drivers behind this behavior, we can gain a deeper understanding of what motivates some women to become involved with married men and the emotional tools it often takes. So now we'll move on to the first one, which is the psychological motivation behind dating in married men. Psychologists and relationship experts often point to a variety of psychological motivations that may lead some women to date married men. These motivations, ranges from subconscious emotional needs to external pressures or past experiences. It is oftentimes these women may not enter into such relationship with the intention of breaking up a marriage, but are drawn into them by emotional or circumstances factor. And the first factor we look into is the desire for forbidden love. One psychological motivation is the allure of forbidden love. Engaging in a relationship with a married man can feel exciting or dangerous, with the secrecy adding an element of thrill. Some women may be attracted to the challenge of winning over a man who is already committed, doing it as a test of their desirability or an expression of their sexual power. The second thing is seeking validation and self-worth. For some women, dating a married man can be a way to seek validation if they have no self-esteem or unresolved emotional issues. The attention of a married man may make them feel valued, attractive, or special. In these cases, the woman may believe that if a man is willing to risk his marriage for her, it confirms her worth. The third one is avoiding commitment. In some cases, women who fear deep emotional attachment or commitment might gravitate towards married men. They may subconsciously seek out relationships that are inherently unstable or destined to fail, allowing them to avoid the vulnerability that comes with a long-term commitment relationship. These women may prefer the limited, secretive nature of the relationship because it does not require the same emotional investment as a traditional partnership. Fourth one is revenge or power. Some women may date married men for a form of revenge or power play. This could, arise from personal experiences of betrayal or rejection in their own past relationships, leading them to seek a sense of, control or dominance by involving themselves with a married man. This behavior might stem, from unresolved feelings of hurt or anger, driving them to feel empowered by, taking someone else's husband. Second topic is common characteristics of women who engage in this relationship. While there is no single profile that fits every woman who dated married men, certain characteristics and personality traits may be more common among women who find themselves in this type of relationships. And the first one is emotional insecurity. Women who are emotionally insecure may be more susceptible to the attention of a married man, especially if they feel undesired or undervalued in other aspects of their lives. These women may be looking, for validation and affection, and the relationship with a married man can temporarily fulfill these needs. The second one is romantic idealism. Some women may idealize romantic relationship and view that their connection with a married man as something meant to be. Despite the obvious obstacles, they may hold on to believe that the man will eventually leave his wife and choose them, clinging to a fantasy of a happy ending. These women might have the tendency to romanticize the affair, viewing it as a love story rather than acknowledging its more complicated realities. The third one is past trauma or emotional scarring. Women who have experienced trauma, especially in childhood or in past relationships, may have unresolved emotional wounds that make them more vulnerable to unhealthy relationship dynamics. For example, women with abandonment issue may find themselves drawn to unavailable men, as this mirrors their past experience of being emotionally neglected or abandoned. And the fourth one is need for control. Some women seek control over their relationships by dating married men. These women may enjoy the power dynamic that comes with being the other women, because it allows them to control the terms of the relationship without the pressure of traditional commitments. They may relish the fact that the man is devoted to them while still maintaining a marriage on the side, interpreting this as a form of control over the man's emotional world. Now we'll move on to the third topic, the role of emotional vulnerability and low self-esteem. Emotional vulnerability and low self-esteem are two critical factors that often drives women into relationships with married men. Women who struggle with this issue may be more likely to tolerate being in a relationship that is secretive, complicated, and often fraught with guilt or shame. And the first one under this is seeking validation from an unavailable man. For some women, the fact that the man is married may initially serve as a deterrent, but over time, they may come to view the relationship as a way to prove their worth. The attention and affection they receive from a married man can feel like a form of validation, especially if they have struggled with feelings of inadequacy or low self-esteem. The second one is feeling emotional voids. Many women who date married men are trying to fill an emotional void in their lives, whether it stems from a lack of affection, unresolved past trauma, or feeling of loneliness. They may see the married man as someone who can temporarily fill that gap. Unfortunately, these relationships often leave them feeling even more emotionally unfulfilled, as the man's primary commitment remains to his wife and family. Third one is subconscious attraction to unavailable men. Women with unresolved emotional issues may find themselves subconsciously drawn to unavailable men as a way of reenacting past patterns. For example, if a woman had a distant or unavailable parent, she may be more likely to seek out romantic partners who are similarly unavailable. This married man fits this mold as he is emotionally or physically unavailable to his existing commitment. So we'll move on to the last one that we'll be treating for this video, which is social and cultural influences on relationship with married men. Beyond personal psychological factors, societal and cultural influences also play a role in why some women date married men. Certain cultural narratives romanticize or even glamorize infidelity and affairs, which can impact how women perceive relationship with married men. And the first one is romanticization of affair in popular culture. Affairs between married men and single women are often depicted in movies, TV shows, and books as dramatic, passionate, and exciting. These narratives can, create a false sense of glamour around infidelity, making it seem more appealing than it is in reality. Women who are exposed to these cultural messages may become more accepting of dating a married man, seeing it as an adventure or a forbidden love affair rather than a relationship with potential damaging consequences. The second one is societal pressure on women's marital status. In many cultures, there is significant pressure on women to be in a relationship, get married, and settle down. Women who are single, especially as they age, may feel judged or stigmatized by society. This pressure can lead some women to pursue relationships with married men, particularly if they believe these men will eventually leave their wives for them. In this way, the societal emphasis on women's marital status can contribute to their willingness to engage in such relationships, even when they are aware of the moral and ethical dilemmas involved. The third one here is traditional gender roles and power dynamics. In some cases, traditional gender roles and power dynamics play a role in these relationships. Women who are financially dependent on or social subordinate to men may find themselves in situations where dating a married man feels like their best and only options. They may believe that the married man will offer them security, status, or emotional support, even if it comes at the cost of his existing marriage. So this is where we stop in the part 1 of this. So stay tuned for part 2. If you enjoy watching, kindly like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2 of this topic. See you in my next one.